Well, that's, of course, a little bit of a tough act to follow, but I think my man Shaun right here can do it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Right on. For the folks at home, why don't you tell them who you are and what you do?
My name's Shaun Himmerick. I'm the producer of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks at Midway in Chicago.
Right on. And you've actually brought us the Shaolin Monks, and you are playing it currently, correct?
Right now I'm playing it on that little screen. Now they got on the big screen. That's much better.
Now, for the folks at home that don't know anything about Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, can we actually talk a little bit about what it is and how it fits into the Mortal Kombat universe?
Totally. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks is based in the MK universe around the time of MK2. So we start the game with this huge blowout battle royal, 13 MK characters doing the final battle of MK1.
Oh, wow.
So you see that big battle, Liu Kang wins, and then we go into the MK2 storyline, and Liu Kang and or Kung Lao go off into Outworld.
I gotcha. And so, like, how many of the different characters are we going to see in this, and how does it work in terms of who do you play as? You got Liu Kang, you got Kung Lao. How does that all work?
Well, you play as Liu Kang or Kung Lao, or we actually have a co-op mode where you can play as both, working together through the whole game.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Can I do that online, or
you can't do it online?
Okay.
We would have had to trim some of the other features back to make it function online, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to make the best possible experience we could.
Right on. Now, how does that work out when you're going through the game? Do you guys bump up the number of enemies or the co-op players face?
For co-op, we do a little more. It's not just number of enemies, waves of enemies. We want to be a little smarter than that. So we have different AI, and then with co-op, we also have some different puzzles. There's extra areas of the game that can only be accessed with co-op play. There's a secret co-op boss that's not part of the main storyline, which you only get to fight if you're playing in co-op mode.
Fantastic. So what about the, let's go ahead and talk about the gameplay mechanics. How does that work? Does it feel like Mortal Kombat fighting games, or?
It feels great. We started this with a prototype. We spent 6 months prototyping just the fighting engine.
Wow.
To make sure we got it the way we wanted it, because it's Mortal Kombat. It had to feel good. It couldn't just be a button masher. So the game has 3 attack styles that you can go through, and quick attacks, I can launch them into the air at any time. Everything's fluid. We call it our multi-directional fighting system. I can fight in any direction, any time, and it's not just the character glitching around. They're actually completely different animations. If I'm running, the animations change. So if I just punch with this, but if I'm running, it does a completely different attack.
Gotcha.
The whole system flows seamlessly from one attack to the next, including going seamlessly from that into the platform abilities like wall run, wall jump, double jump. All that flows seamlessly into our fighting engine.
Now, I see it looks like there's a little brief cinema showing that door open there. How do you guys handle the narrative? How do you guys do the storyline stuff?
With the storyline stuff, we have about 45 minutes of cutscenes that tell the story.
Really?
Then within that, we have probably, it's an obscene number, but there's over an hour of probably quick hints and tips. Like, if you're not getting something, we have little hints that get you through and tell you how to work the puzzle. Like here we have a quick tip on how to use the blocking mechanism. This is great for boss battles because if I'm fighting a boss and then he's got extra minions around, one of the things we've added to this game, branching out from traditional MK one-on-one, I can focus on him, but then I don't lose the ability to fight in multiple directions. I can do a backwards attack, and it's a completely different animation, and then still stay focused on my boss.
Right on. Now, what about the boss battles you mentioned? Yeah, am I going to go up against Goro? Am I going to go up against Shao Kahn?
We had a blast doing all the boss battles. One of the ones that you play here in the demo right on the E3-4 is Baraka. And we've done a lot of things with the boss battles to like really blow them out. So like Baraka starts with traditional, okay, here's a one-on-one fight. Well, then we go, okay, you beat that part. Now Baraka gets mad. He takes some monks that he kidnapped earlier that saw in the story, throws them at you. They're running around on fire, and it's another hazard while you're fighting Baraka.
Oh, wow.
Then he gets mad again and goes over, and you got to do a projectile fight with him. Then he gets mad again and goes berserk, and it's all weapons-only fight. We do that with all the boss fights. They have different things. Like Reptile, you have to fight this enormous snake, the largest snake we've ever seen in a video game, before you can even get to the Reptile fight.
Neat. What about the different modes you got in there? Of course, you got the single-player storyline stuff. What else you got?
We have the single-player storyline. We have the co-op mode. We also have a versus mode. Originally from a bug, you were able to hit your buddy in co-op mode, and in fixing that, we're like, God, this is actually kind of fun. So we built a co-op mode that has 16 different maps that aren't, again, just backgrounds like the MK2 was, but they're actually like interactive. Like some of them have other enemies in there while you're fighting. There are tons of death traps and health traps around going on while you're in the co-op or in the versus mode. And then there's pickups around there. You can pick up weapons. You can pick up extra health. You can pick up the ability to do all your super moves. Because we kept, of course, all the super moves in MK2 in there. I'm doing the fireballs, the fly kick. Kung Lao's got his teleport and his spin and his dive kicks. It's all in there.
Right on. There's a good question in from John in Ireland. I actually know the answer to this one, or at least I believe I know the answer to this one, but I'll let you take it. Why did you take the MK2 as the basis of the game for the story and not the later titles after MK2?
Well, MK2 is a lot of people's favorite. It's one of our favorites. And when we saw this engine like in action, we was like, wow, that is really good. Liu Kang and Kung Lao will be perfect for this. And that's just when the story really seemed to make sense. Besides the fact, just a lot of people's favorites. All the backgrounds of MK2 are levels of this game, and it's just a ton of fun to like see the wasteland blown out to a full 3D interactable world where you can impale enemies, and it's been a blast for us.
Now, does it tell stories that are so you got the MK2 style of story, you got that period of time? Does it lead into the stuff that we already know past that? And does it leave it open for a sequel?
It does leave it open for sequels because MK's had a rich, long history of tons of things to build off of. What we've done a lot of is bring a lot of the rumors to life. So we tell a lot of the story that you didn't get to know. We also explain a lot of things that people were wondering about, like, why is Sonya chained up in the background of that thing? Totally figure that out. You can actually set her free in this game. We do a lot of side missions that are probably like 30% of the game is side missions you don't even have to do, but it's how you find a lot of the secrets. We took rumors like people thought you could throw enemies into the trees in the living forest. It wasn't really true in MK2 now, but it's totally true in this game. All those rumors we brought to life.
Some of the questions I see in here coming in, hidden secrets have always been a big part of the MK universe. Yeah. Are you guys going to have a similar crypt-style area to unlock the stuff?
Yeah, we don't call it a crypt in this game, but we have about the same number of items. The best part about Shaolin Monk's secrets is that because we're an adventure game, we can unlock them in really fun and creative ways. There's some that are really difficult, like if I go back here actually into this past room, I didn't reveal the secret, but I'll tell you right here. In this first room, if I throw an enemy into that skeleton on the wall, that breaks and that reveals a secret. Some of the things are really that hard to find. But some of them will be easy. You'll just come into a room, see it, pick it up, and get it. And then that's how we get to unlock things like there's breakables here, like there's other playable characters, unlocking backgrounds in versus mode, unlocking other characters in versus mode, and just a lot of things in the game we can unlock. Extra fatalities. There's just tons of those.
So is there any difference between, and actually, can we talk about the different versions you're going to have? What platforms will be available for and when it will be available?
It'll be available on the PS2 and the Xbox in September, both in America and in Europe, all simultaneous.
Any difference between the two versions?
Not much, but Xbox has some natural things it does better. There might be a secret or two that we're going to vary between the two, an unlockable or something like that. We're talking about doing specific per platform, but right now we're not confirming any of that.
Now, any secrets you can share into the way of the world of the Shaolin Monks? Are we going to see any portable version of this? Are we going to have any PSP gaming on the go?
We really like the PSP. The MK team, we're big fans of it. We're doing Deception for the PSP for this fall right now. So we've talked about it, but we're not committing to doing it just because we don't want to take any time away from our doing this game as it is to make sure this is as good as it could possibly be. Here's one of the cameos from Johnny Cage. There's probably 30 MK characters at various points in this. The good guys help you, the bad guys are the enemies, It's fun to work with Johnny Cage through some different missions.
Now, about did you guys go back and did you guys get all voice talent, right?
We got original voice talent. It was actually very hard to track some of it down. Like the original guy, Shao Kahn, we found him in Northern California somewhere.
He actually was like a karate instructor or something.
I'm not even sure what he does. So we found a lot of the original voices. Ed does his original voice. Ed Boon does his voice that he did in the MK2. Other than that, for people that didn't have their traditional voices, we got professional voice actors to do a lot of those voices. So you'll notice a huge step up in the voice quality for this game.
And so, are you talking about when you say voice actors? Like, are we talking about the original Sonya? Are we talking about?
For the original Sonya, we didn't get her specifically. But like the original Liu Kang voice, actually the exact same audio calls are in there.
Oh, really?
It would have been a little repetitive for a game like this because it's so much longer. You would have heard it a lot.
Right.
So we had to beef it up with some new actors and some additional stuff, but most of it's still in there.
How does the breakdown work in terms of gameplay between the actual puzzle solving and the actual combat?
Well, what we think we've done great is we liked our combat system so much, we made it our puzzle system as well. So instead of going into a room and like, okay, here's the puzzle, I got to grab this handle, slide this thing over here, put it in front of this hole, and it stops the invisible penguins from coming through. Instead of something crazy like that, we have like barriers. You'll notice there's a broken wall, and you'll get some hints, and I'll use the fight system to actually throw an enemy through the wall. We wanted the player to feel they were making the achievements, and they were doing the thing. So like, you have special attacks like do the throw, so you actually make the thing happen instead of the game kind of doing it for you. We wanted the player to feel. So a lot of our puzzles are based on the fight engine and like, okay, here's how you know how to throw an enemy in the air. Now, throw an enemy into the air in order to impale them on these spikes, and then you can jump on their dead body and move on.
Nice. Daniel Maya in Redmond, Washington wants to know, so with the new fighting system, are there any counterattacks?
Well, there's counters as far as, like, there's some enemies that are based totally on defense.
I got you.
Each enemy has its own AI. There's a couple enemies where, like, if you don't block, you are screwed. So you're going to have to block and then counter. There isn't an in-depth counter system like we had in Deadly Alliance or even like some of the stuff in Deception, but there definitely is a need to be using your blocking and different attacks.
Gotcha. This is a good question for Christopher in Key West, Florida. What's the learning curve like? Easy for MK veterans to get into, or are there a lot of new things for MK veterans to learn?
The MK veterans, like, we were actually surprised in the booth. We've been watching people play, and the MK fans just seem to pick this game up and immediately get it. Like, if you know some of the old combos, you're going to end up doing combos right off the bat. They're going to be easy to do. For the average player, it's also pretty easy to pick up. We really wanted to make the average player able to pick this up and go. The MK people are going to pick it up a little faster because we've kept a lot of the things the same and a lot of things working smoothly together with the old system.
Right on. This is a good question from Andrew Fitzpatrick in Winchester. What kinds of fatalities are there, classic or new?
Well, here's a great example. I'm just about to perform a fatality. We went through a lot of pain to make sure it's easy to do fatalities in this game. There it is. I can see on the TV, so I know what I'm doing. So we actually teach the player how to do fatalities, because I think a lot of people weren't able to do them in the old Mortal Kombats. So you see a lot of the fatalities. Here's one that's actually an homage to an old Mortal Kombat fatality. And we did a lot of them, have got the old fatalities in and then brought them to 3D and modernized them, and then there's a ton of new ones as well.
Fantastic. I got to wrap it up. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Just enjoy the show. Tell your friends. We'll have a good time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some more of the action from the E3 2005 show. So without further ado, take it away.